Okay, good morning, guys. How are you doing today? How are you? Good. Good morning, online. Good morning. Doing good. Thanks for asking. Okay, so hope everyone are doing good. So did you completed yesterday's practicals? Data sync? Done now? Super. I'm good, Gopi. Yeah. Very good. So very happy that you guys are all up to date with the practicals. That's really good. So today, let's jump on to the next database services. So whenever we talk about databases, what is the first service that you get in your mind? RDS. So let us talk about RDS today. Okay. Nice. Can you please confirm? Can you see my screen and can you hear me well? No problem. Okay, ma. So we know a little bit about RDS already, correct? What is the full form of RDS? Ruta. Relational database. Sir, early morning fuse out. Just a second for few seconds. So, okay, relational database services. And this RDS is a database or a database service? It's a database service, not a database. And this RDS supports how many engines? 6 engines. What are those? MySQL, Oracle, MS SQL, Postgres, MariaDB, and Aurora. And which one is AWS proprietary engine? Aurora. And all these are all RDBMS databases only, no? Yes. And this platform is completely managed by AWS. So basically, we it is not like EC2 instance, Nana. So in what do we do? We launch the EC2 instance, we log in to it using the username and password, we log into the machine, and then we do everything. But here, what you need to do is, there we call it as EC2 instance. Here we call it as DB instance. What instance? DB instance. So we need to just go and set up, create a DB instance. That's it. So you need to create a DB instance with one engine. How many engines? 6 engines are there, no? So with one engine, you need to set up one DB instance. And then what you can do is you can only connect to it. Can you log in? Can you log in as a server? No, you can only connect it. You can connect it and then create databases and then create tables, whatever you want to do, you can do it there. And mostly whatever we do on the console as an AWS engineers, and also I'm very clear on this, and let me make you clear. Are we here to create tables and write SQL queries? That is not our job, right? So we are not here to connect to the databases. We are not here to create tables. Tables, you cannot create it because without any proper application architecture, you cannot create a table. So our job is, as an AWS architect, as an AWS engineer, our job is to go and set up a DB instance, configure, maintain, secure, take the backups, keep it ready, and give this service always to developers. We will set up a database engine and then we'll give the username, password, and then some names to the developers. And they will be connecting to it and they will do everything. We will be doing everything from the console. We will manage the database. What developers and others people do, they will connect and they will do development on the database. Not only in RDS, in all database services that we're going to learn. So we are not creating any tables. I'm not going to teach creating tables and SQL queries. That is not our part. Okay. Okay. So if you take, Nana, in RDS, it's mostly a hands-on service. It's a practical service. So before going to the practicals, I could have directly showed you practicals today. But what I thought is it's not good directly to go to practicals. There are two very important topics that you should learn before going to the practicals. Rest everything can be seen directly from the console, like username, password, select that, select this. We need to select it. We don't need to talk about theoretically all these things. But two important things theoretically we need to learn here. One is read replica. What is it? Read replica. And number two is multi-AZ. What is that? What are the two things? Read replica and multi-AZ. Read replicas and then multi-AZ. Multi-AZ meaning availability zone. Multi-AZ. So let's talk about read replica first. So here, if you take a database, I assume this is a DB instance. What is it now called, Nana, here? DB instance. What do we call? DB instance. So this is RDS DB instance. So here DB instance. Which engine should we take as an example? Oh, you want Aurora? So the most common DB engines people use it depend upon the requirement, but most common thing is which is freeware. I mean open source, right? Open source. Which is open source here? Postgres is open source. MySQL is open source. Oracle, MS SQL, all these are license based. For that reason, people will not go much there. If required, you can go, but all the time company will see the cost optimization. No, for that reason. So I'm going and selecting here Postgres. You can call it as Postgres also, Postgres SQL also, Postgre also, whichever you like, you can call. Okay, I have set up a DB instance here, which is Postgres. Generally, whenever you set up a DB instance, the role is called, generally it says as instance. What is that? Instance. The role is what is here? Instance. Okay. Now, we have your application here. And application is writing, and application is, what do we do with the databases? Read and write. Yes or no, guys? So here it is write, and here it is read. What generally, this is a normal common scenario. We have the application will be connected to the database, and application will write to the database, and application will read from the database. So one thing, now once I set up DB instance, okay, now I'm asking this question. What are the things necessary to connect to a database? What are things that we need to connect to the database from application point of view? So I have application. I want to connect to the database. What are the things that we need? What is that? DNS. So developers, those who are online, what do you say? So you need to give the host name, correct? Host name meaning what? The DB instance name, right? Host name here we call it as endpoint. What is it, Nana? Server name. When you set up a DB instance, automatically AWS will give the DNS name. What is the DNS name? Server name only, no? So we don't call it as server name. We call it as DNS name, or we call it as endpoint. What's that we call? In RDS terms, we should call it as endpoint. Endpoint is the point where you can connect to the database name. And host name you give, and you give username, you give password, and you give the port number. What is that, Nana? Every database has its own port number. Postgres has its own port number. MS SQL has its own port number, right? And then every engine has its own port number. So here we are using Postgres, no? Postgres port number is 5432. There is no one. 5432, if I remember correctly. So that is a port number. So in order to connect to the DB engine, so what are the things that we need? Endpoint, username, password, port number. Again, Nana, what is that? Endpoint, username, password, and port number. Endpoint will be given by whom? Who will give the endpoint? AWS will generate the endpoint. Yes or no? AWS will generate the endpoints. Here I write here, endpoint is provided by AWS. Once you set up DB instance, automatically it will provide the endpoint. Okay, Nana, see, now we have application here. We have application. And application is getting connected to the DB engine. Is it only one application that connect to the DB engine or multiple applications? Multiple, no? For one DB engine, multiple applications will connect. Only one application, no. You may have 100, not 100. So there are many applications that will be connected to the DB engine. So let's assume every application will read and write to the database. Try to understand. Every application will read and write to the database. But few applications are there, they will more read the database. They will more read the database. Let's say example is reports. Power BI. Have you heard about Power BI? BI means business intelligence tools are there for you. So just assume in companies, you have lots of terabytes of data. There are few applications, what they do is they will read the data from the database and they will generate the reports. They don't write. What they do is they will read. They will only read. What they'll do, so those who, have you heard about a position called data analyst? Data analyst, what they do is they will analyze the data. If they want to analyze the data, first they need to read the data, no? They will write the data, read the data. Read only. So there are many applications which are read purpose. They will only read. Okay, now let's say, for example, here, I put here another application. Here also I put another application. So assume these applications are read. And these applications are also getting connected to the DB engine. This is also connected to the DB engine. No, Priyanka, no. Database is not a warm model. Okay, so this application is connected to the DB engine and this application also connected to the DB engine. Now, what is this application is doing? This application read. This application also read. This application write also, read also. So many applications are getting pressurized to the DB instance. Is that good? If many applications like this are connected to the only one single DB engine, and similarly, in EC2 instance, we have instance type, no? What is our favorite instance type? T2 micro. Here also, there we call it as EC2 instance type. Here we call it as DB instance type. Here also we have T2 micro, T2 small, bigger, how much ever it is. So here, let's say if you selected T2 large or something, which has 16 GB RAM, and many applications started connecting to the DB engine, what will happen to the DB engine? It will become very slow. It will not perform. So now instead of giving good performance to the applications, do you recommend to connect these read-only applications to the data, to the main database? No. So what we can do is here, are you my class only? Yeah. You're attending online. Okay. Close the door. Right. Okay. So instead of here, see, Chidi, now we have the application, right? Instead of, and these applications are read purpose, right? Instead of these applications connecting to your main database, what we can do is, can I create a read replica out of it? Read replica. Can I create a copy of this DB instance? Twins, right? So what I do is here, I'll create a replica out of this server like this. So I'll create a replica like this. I'll create a replica. And instead of this application connected to the main server, I'll be connecting to the replica server. What replica is this? Read replica. Say that loudly. Read replicas. What is this? Read replica. this. As the name clearly says, read replica. That meaning, can you write on that? No, you can only use for read purpose. So this is a read replica. Read replica. And this is also read replica. So if we have any applications which are read purpose, instead of connect, okay, now this is your what is the role of this instance? What is the role of the instance here? Instance only. What is the role of this DB instance? Instance. Once you created replicas out of it, this will become primary instance. What is it called, Anna? You can call it as primary instance, or you can call it as master server, primary server. And these are all secondary servers or slave servers. But master slave concept is on premises. You can say this also, but here you call it as primary and replicas. What do you call here? Primary and replicas. If there is no replicas, the machine is standalone. Yes or no? What is the meaning of standalone? Which doesn't have any replicas. It is only one server. And if you want to have replicas from this main server, can you create a replicas out of it? Yes, you can create a replicas. Once you create a replicas, the role of this machine will become primary instance. Before it is only instance. Now, when you create replicas, it will become primary instance. Now, how are applications are getting connected to your database engine? Through endpoint. So every DB instance will have endpoint or not? Read replicas also has its own endpoint. Read replicas also has its own endpoint. And there is a question here. Sir, what's the name of RR in on-premise? Yeah, same. What is the name of RR in on-premises? Secondary server, slave server. We call it as like this. You getting it? And then whatever the data you are writing here on the primary server, it will get, all the data will get replicated to replica server. And this replication is completely managed by whom? AWS. We no need to worry on it. So here replication will be happening. Replication happen. So this replication is synchronous or asynchronous. I'll tell you the difference. Synchronous meaning where some applications writing on all three at the same time. Is that correct? That is synchronous. Asynchronous meaning first the application will be writing here and then get replicated over here and then here. So the synchronous or asynchronous. So these read replica concepts are asynchronous. Asynchronous. And by the way, RDS is global or regional? Regional, be confident. Did I say global? No. When I say global, then only the service is global. Until then, everything are regional. So that meaning if it is regional, can I create this DB instance in Mumbai region? Your read replicas can be in the same region also. It can be in the other region also. Can I create in Ireland? Can I create this in Tokyo? So this I'll put it in 1A. This one I'll put it in 1B. This one I'll put it in 1C. So my read replicas can be in the same region, another region, same available zone, different available zone. Anywhere you can keep it. Anywhere you can keep it. You're getting? You're getting? No? Is it clear? Online, is it clear till here, everyone? So read replicas are used for read purpose or write purpose? Only reads, no writes. And like this, here, how many read replicas did we created? 2 read replicas we created. Like this, for one instance, DB instance, you can create 15 read replicas. How many? 15 read. Previously it was 5. Now they have changed to 15. They have increased feature. How many read replicas you can create? 15. So RDS is global or regional? RDS is regional. Now, can you tell me, read replicas will work as a high availability? Think and answer. Read replicas will work as a high availability? Hmm? Yes or no? Answer is no. Read replicas are not for high availability purpose. What is the mean of high availability? So just in case if this server went down, this will become primary, yeah? This will become primary, yeah? No, right? So it will not become like that. So just in case if this server goes down, what will happen is a replication will cut off. And this will be like without parent. Understand? So read replicas are used to increase the performance. That's all. It's not for high availability. So if someone asks what is the purpose of read replica, what you say? Read replicas are used for increasing the performance. I'm writing here that read replicas are used to increase the performance. Performance for your application. Maximum how many read replicas? 15 read replicas. Read replicas can be in different available zone and in other regions also. Read replicas can be in different availability zones and across regions also. Read replicas are for read purpose or write purpose. Read replica can be used for only read purpose, not write. And read replicas also have its own endpoints. Yes. Oh, and what is an endpoint? Endpoint meaning host name. So if any application wants to connect to the database, for this read replica, it has its own DNS name. That meaning endpoint, right? So every application need to connect to their own different endpoints. So I'll call it as read replica has their own endpoints. Okay. Is it clear till here, everyone? Clear? Nice. Let's go slowly. And let's say, for example, this is primary server and this is replica server, correct? Now I have decided that this machine should not be a read replica anymore. I don't want the data get replicated here. Can I remove this read replica from this? Yes. In order to removing, we should not call it as remove and all. We should say it as promote. What is that? Promote. Promote to a standalone machine. So these read replicas can be promoted to a normal machine. Yes. So if you don't want this to be replicated here, what you need to do is read replicas can be promoted. Promoted to read replica to a normal instance. Normal instance. Understood? So that is called promote. Promote can be done for read replicas or primary instance. Read replicas. Can you do promote for primary instance? No. Read replicas can be promoted to a normal single instance. Once you promote from this again, can you create read replicas? If it is a single machine, yeah, you can. It's up to you. Is it clear? Online, is this clear till here, everyone? CC, please. Super. Nice, Rakshita. Okay, so that was, we have discussed about read replicas. What is the second thing that I said? Multi-AZ. What's that? Multi-AZ. So let's talk about multi-AZ. whatever we are talking and doing is purely the real time. Of course, all the services we are doing real time only, but this one is even more pure real time. Okay. So multi-AZ meaning, previously I asked this question, read replicas are for high availability purpose? Yes or no? No. So if you are worried, and by the way, DB instance is completely managed by whom? AWS. It's a platform as a service. It's completely managed by AWS. So do you have any worry that DB instance will go down? But just in case if you are worried that DB instance will go down, so you can enable the high availability. High availability is nothing but multi-AZ. So multi-AZ is a feature where you need to just enable it. If you enable it, you will have a high availability. This high availability is completely managed by AWS. Just in case Pusuk something happened to the DB instance, automatically, I'll talk about that. First of all here, multi-AZ is used for high availability purpose. Agree? Multi-AZ is for high availability purpose. Multi-AZ is for high availability purpose. Assume, let's assume here. Here I'm setting up one DB instance. This is RTS DB instance. Let's take MySQL. Nana, does it have its own endpoint or not? Every machine will have its own endpoint. And I told you there is a DB instance type. So assume that this is T2 X large, for example, where you are paying $100 for this example. I'm saying how much you're paying for this machine? $100. Normal machine. So what you are planning to do is you want to enable multi-AZ. Multi-AZ meaning is for high availability. So once you enable multi-AZ is just a radio button. Check radio button selection multi-AZ. It has three options, Nana. Multi-AZ has three options. Number one, we call it as cluster. What is that? If you select cluster, automatically, before that, I'll tell you one thing. Once you enable multi-AZ, what will happen is another parallel DB instance will be created. What is it, Nana? Another parallel DB instance will be, but it is not visible. It is not visible. Whenever you select a multi-AZ, for this automatically another DB instance will be created, but it's not visible for us. But whatever the data you're putting in this will get replicated to this. Because the platform is managed by AWS. So replication will be happening here. And this time replace synchronous or asynchronous? It is synchronous. So just in case if something goes wrong with this server, no, just in case if something goes wrong with this server, automatically failover will happen to this server. This is managed by AWS because it's a platform as a service, correct? So as this is a platform as a service, anything related to the platform is managed by AWS. What you need to do is you just need to select, Babu, you need multi-AZ or not. If you say, yes, I need multi-AZ, another parallel DB instance will be created, which is not visible. But very, 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 very important thing that you should remember here is AWS will also charge $100 for this. That's it, no? So many people I see in the real time, because I'm also I'm an AWS consultant, right? So as a consultant, I'll be going to companies and then recommending stuff. But when I saw a few companies, what they do is the AWS engineers, not our students. Our students will not do. Our students are, you are genius. Of course, you're genius. I know. So what other people will do is they will chumma go ahead and then when they're setting my DB instance, what they is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Which one I to select? 1, 2, 3. I'll select 2. Inky, pinky, panky. So what they do is Multi-age, yeah. Cluster, don't want cluster, standalone, select. Or multi-age, high availability, we need selected. So by the time 1 month got over, and you get, instead of getting $10,000 per month, you will get $20,000 because it's double the cost. It's double the cost. Whenever the manager come and ask, "Arey Babu, what are you doing on RDS? It is, we are giving a heavy cost here." He will say, "Sir, I don't know." And then people, they'll start calling other people friends and say, "Help me," and all. But here, our students, that meaning those who know technically, remember multi-age is always double the cost. Because is it visible? From the console, it is only one server, but you're getting double the money because you have enabled multi-age, right? So do not enable multi-age without proper approvals. So you need to tell to your customer and manager or customer saying that, Babu, if you need high availability, you need to pay double the cost. Are you okay for it? And the customer will say that, so that meaning the database will go down, it will not go down. But another very important thing that people doesn't know is, let us see here. DB instance we have created. We are saying DB instance. DB instance got created. See, what engine? Give me an example. Which engine? Hmm? Postgres. So Postgres, you have set up Postgres. That is one, not my signature in Postgres. So this is Postgres DB engine. So it has its own endpoint, correct? I don't like to write like this, but and clients will be connected to this endpoint. And what they do is they create a databases inside it. Yes or no? They'll create only one databases or multiple databases. They'll create a multi. All these databases is what databases? Postgres databases. Okay. Nana, this DB engine is handled by AWS. Who are creating these things? Customer. That meaning developers. That meaning we only know. Does AWS is responsible for this? No. I told you AWS doesn't have access inside your machine. AWS will provide the machine like our EC2. Does AWS has access inside the EC2? Here also AWS doesn't have access inside your DB instance. Let's say real-time question, real-time problems. One developer will come very, very fastly, very hurriedly, very anxietily, very sadly, and then he's shivering. And he came to me and said, "Sir, what happened? Sir, I corrupted my databases. I corrupted a databases." Corrupted meaning he did something on the databases here, and all the data inside it got corrupted. Is it AWS responsibility? As you are AWS engineer, can you do anything here? So does failover will happen here? Does failover will happen? Yes or no? Failover will happen or not? Louder. No, because how does the AWS know what is happening inside your machine? AWS doesn't know what is happening inside. It with corrupt also, AWS will say, "What happened?" He'll ask, "What happened?" Array, data got corrupted. So it's your responsibility. What should I do? If you say DB instance is gone, then I'll do the failover. If something, any kind of DB level operations will be handled by customer only, not AWS. So in this case, what we need to do is, whenever we are talking about database, the first thing that you need to get in your mind is backups. So every day we need to take the backup. Not only every day, based on your customer requirement, you can schedule the backup. These many hours you can take, every day you can take. So let's say, for example, last night you have took the backup here, and the backups here are called snapshot. What they're called? What are the backups called, Nana? Snapshot. So let's say, for example, last night you took the snapshot, and early morning he came and said, "Arey Babu, I corrupted the database." What can you do? Can you restore the snapshot? If you restore, you need to restore the entire DB instance, which contain all the databases. Contain all the database. Nana, and if a developer says, Hey, can you please restore only the single database here? This one only. Is it possible to do it from AWS? No, AWS is giving the whole entire home. Take it. If you say, "Arey, my chair is broken," you have your flat. The flat is handled by AWS, and you went inside and arranged the furniture, right? And then some chair got broken. Will you go and shout builder? Whose responsibility? Your responsibility, right? So if you ask builder what he'll do, he will give another flat to you. He'll give another plant. And if you say, Arey Babu, I don't want another plant, I want only chair. Who's responsible? Builder will give, huh? No. Similarly, here AWS will not give. What you need to do is, it's your responsibility that if you're concerned about a single database backup, you take the backup, you restore it here inside. DB level operations are managed by customer, not AWS. AWS will give you too much all the time. So if you want to restore, you have a snapshot here. If you want to restore from the snapshot, you will restore the whole thing, not the single database inside it. You understand? Online, is this clear, Nana? Clear, Nana? Okay. So what is a backup called? Snapshot. What's backup called? Snapshot. And here also, I'm talking about multi-AZ, DB level operations does have any failover? No. DB level operations, AWS will not do the failover. If something happened to the engine, if something happened to the DB instance, machine, on the network level, in the backend level, AWS will do automatically failover he'll do. So, Nana, let's say so many applications are getting connected. All applications are connected to this endpoint. Listen this carefully. There are so many applications which are connected to the endpoint. Failover has happened. Applications will connect automatically to this. There will be a separate endpoint for this or same endpoint. If it is separate endpoint, you need to change from the application, no? Is that good? You might be having so many applications. If something happened here, you need to go and change in all applications. Is that good? No. So that means whenever failover happen, endpoints remain same. That is the beauty. Right? Endpoints remain same. The failover happens here. And everything is automatic. Endpoints remain same. Remains same. Even after failover. Now, do you all understood what is multi-AZ? Everyone understood? So multi-AZ, again, I said multi-AZ, there are three types. Recently, AWS introduced. Previously, it says only one checkbox. You want yes or no. But here now they have introduced three things. If I remember correctly, one is called cluster. If it is cluster, if you select cluster, one primary, two secondaries will be created automatically in the backend. One primary and two will be created. Second option is you want multi-AZ, enable multi-AZ. If you enable multi-AZ, how many servers will be created in the backend? Only one. And the third option, standalone. You don't want any multi-AZ, don't select. Which one we need to say? Firsta, second, third? If you select second, you will get double the cost. But in our course, what you need to select? Standalone. Third one, last one, we need to select. That I'll show you in the console lab. Okay. So if you want me to here, so number one is cluster or enable multi-AZ. Second, third option, don't enable multi-AZ. Three options will be there. So based on your requirement, select it. Okay. DB level operations will be handled by whom? Customer. DB level operations failovers will be there? No. So DB operations will not have any failover. Anything related to network, servers, etc., AWS will do failover automatically. Okay. In multi-AZ, endpoints will change after failover or it remains same? Fantastic. They're all certification questions. Huh? In multi-AZ, endpoints will not change after failover. Remains same. Can you enable multi-AZ for this read replica also? Yes. If you are worried that read replica machine will go down, can you enable multi-AZ for this? Of course, yes. So you can enable multi-AZ for read replicas also. For multi-AZ charges are double. For multi-AZ charges are double. Anna, can you do RDP SSH to the DB instance? Can you do RDP like EC2 instance? Can you log into the DB instance? No. So here RDP SSH are not possible to the RDS DB instance because platform is managed by AWS. And I'll ask one question which let's see whether you remember or not. Old question. Let's say I went to the console and I saw and I'm getting so much of bill, where especially in EC2. And my manager has asked, can you please go and try to reduce some bill in EC2 service because I'm getting more bill there on EC2. So as a part of cost optimization, what is the first thing that you will go and check? How do you do the cost optimization on EC2? Hmm. Hmm? बोलो बोलो भैया. Ah, I already told you all these things. You understood the question. How do you do cost optimization in EC2? Okay. You know this. When I say, you will say, Abba, sir, that. But you should remember, no? Okay. So when do you get more money from, let's say, EC2 instance you have launched? Based on what you will be charged? Instance type, no? If it is, I'm using bigger instance type, which is 100 GB RAM, but I'm not using that. So what do you do? Can you scale down or not? So what is the first thing that you need to check? Instance type. And second thing, what you need to do is pricing model, no? What are the pricing models you have? Tell me. Ordinary, yeah. On demand, reserve, spot. Baba, no, Baba. Tell me, direct. Again, on demand, reserved, spot, dedicated host, dedicated instance, saving, capacity reservation, savings plan. See, you know, right? Okay, out of this, all my EC2 instances at the moment are on demand. If I want to have a good price, that meaning to reduce the price, which model I need to convert? Okay. So you got habituated with the wordings. Okay, now I'll tell you the raw question. If I want discount, reserve, that's what. So your interviewers will not ask like this, discount to how I am teaching, right? You need to use your brains and then think. right? So generally, many people, what they do is they'll use on-demand instances. For on-demands, you need to pay just like the fixed price. Remember, fix it. And if you sure that if you're sure that EC2 instance will be used for next 1 or 2 or 3 years, will you keep it in on-demand? No, move it to reserve. Can you go and reserve the instance? How many years you can reserve it? 1 or 3 years? No. If you reserve, how much discount you will get? 72% you will get it. So that means you will reduce the cost or not. So this is how you need to answer in your interviews. If someone asks, how do you do cost optimization on EC2? First, you need to check, sir, which are over provisioned. What we need to call it as over provisioned. Over provisioned meaning what? Let's say you have a requirement of EC2 instance which needs only 4 GB. But your AWS engineer, not you, other AWS engineer, what they do is they have launched 16 GB RAM or 32 GB RAM. But if you go check in CPU levels, it is always 1%, 2%. But why you are using 32 GB RAM? You understand how you need to go and check. Check the EC2 instance CPU utilizations first. See if the CPU utilizations are not going 80%. If it is 80%, that machine is correct because it is utilizing it. But you have 32 GB RAM EC2 instance, but your CPU levels are 1, 2, 3, or 10 for consecutive of 2 weeks. Do you need that 32 GB machine? What do? You do scale down. Come back, go scale down to 4 GB. Like this, can you save the cost? That is one thing that you can check it. And second thing that you can check it is pricing models. Move from on-demand to reserve instances. Okay. I don't know. Okay. So now this DB instance, RDS DB instance, I will be using it for next 3 years or 2 years. Generally, by default, DB instances are on demand only. Can we go and reserve this can you go and reserve this DB instance? Reserve it. So here RDS DB instances can be reserved to get discount. You got this, Nana? Clear? So you can note that point where the EC2 instance cost optimization. Note it somewhere. It will be helpful in real time. Don't see me for dictation. You only write. Put as heading as EC2 EC2 ways of cost optimization. Number 1, check the instance type and the CPU utilization. Write it in EC2 section, not here. Go back and write it in EC2 section. Check the instance type and CPU utilization. Based on that results, scale down. Second is check the pricing model and what reserved. I'm writing all possible thing. Let's say there are so many developers, what they do is they'll create a snapshots and they'll just leave it without deleting it. That will also cost, no? AMIs also, unused AMIs. And then in unused AMIs also, I told you deprecations and can you move it to recycle bins? Remember? And let's say there are so many volumes which are not used, which is in available state. All these are unnecessary things, right? I'll write all those things also. Check and delete all unused or not necessary snapshots, AMIs. All available State volumes. Are to the above task. I wrote that also. Whenever you see all these things, patak, go and delete it. Because just in case your developer came and asked, hey, I want that snapshot, I want that AMI, and you cannot say that, hey, I deleted everything. No. So please check with other teams. Make sure you check with manager or concerned persons or teams to do the about task. Ask the developers, Babu, you need these or not. Otherwise, delete it. And check the IOPS. Yes or no? Provisioned IOPS. That is the costliest volume, right? Delete all available state volumes and check are required or not. If not, move to GP2. So if you don't want to do these manual things, remember how do you delete the snapshot and AMIs automatically? I'll put my two hands in my pocket and I'll walk away now. How do you automatically take snapshots and delete snapshots in EC2? Huh? Which one? Data Lifecycle Manager, DLM, Data Lifecycle Manager. Have you done the practicals or not? No, then you know the topics, but okay, I'm feeling that, okay, once I have given you the lab, what you're doing, Abba, lab completed, next day, enough, done. We are completed the lab. It's not like that. Try to do the practice again, right? If you feel that you're not able to recollect the topics, please go ahead and do the practicals again. Okay, done. Okay, Nana? Okay. So now, what are let's talk about RDS features. What is it, Nana? RDS features. What are the backups called? So backups are called snapshots. And these snapshots can be taken manually or automatically also. Yes or no? Anytime you can go to the DB instance, right click and then go ahead and then take snapshot. That meaning backup is ready. But if you want to take the snapshot automatically, can you schedule it? Yes, you can schedule. When do you take the snapshot? Mornings or night? Nights. Why? Huh? You said night. Why? You said night. That is good. Answer why meaning because that is the time where no one is using your databases. If anyone is using the database, if you take the backup, it is not good. No, it will become slow, right? So when you're taking night meaning non-working hours, let's say you're working for US times, then you need to take morning. Okay. So where the customers are not using at that time, you need to at that time you need to schedule the backups. Because whenever the backup is taking, the whole mesh, the database engine will become little bit performance issue will come. So that meaning take offline of hours. So can you take the manual backups also? You can take the automatic backup also. And DB level operation should be done by whom, Nana? Customers. DB level operations. DB level operations meaning what? Creating tables, store procedures, scripts, okay, functions, anything related to security logins, etc. Everything will be done by customers or handled by customers. Customers meaning especially whom? Mandi kaadu. Right? Is not for us. Right? Push it on developers. Okay. DB instance level. DB instance level. That meaning here instance backups, right? Configurations, right? And then restorations, capacities. So are handled by AWS engineers, meaning us only. Mm. Let's say you want to do the patching, Nana. Patching. That is done by AWS because platform is managed by AWS. Machine is managed by AWS. No, if anything want to do the window, any patching related thing, who will do? AWS will do. I would like to ask one more question. Huh? You have your laptops? Hmm? You have your laptops. So you you have antivirus also, right? You have antivirus also. And you have updated patches also in your laptop? Windows updates and all? Huh? Patches, security patches you need to install, right? Okay. For your EC2 instance, who is responsible for the patches? AWS or customers? Huh? Uh-huh. If I laugh, you are shifting. Uh, repeat the question now. AWS customers. Answer is customers. Because does AWS has access inside the machine? Inside the machine, who is responsibility? AWS, I mean, it's customers only, no. So that means any related to antivirus installation, everything who you need to do, you need to do. Anything installation, patching, everything should be done by who? You only. Because AWS is giving the machine inside the AWS, clearly told on the starting days. AWS doesn't have access inside your machine. So any for EC2 instance, DB level of, EC2 instance, all the operations you need to take it off. But here DB level operations, DB instance level, platform related operations will be done by AWS because it's a platform as a service. Okay. Patching is handled by AWS. And also it has encryption, right? Remember we have a default key, no? Huh? Or you can use from KMS. Okay. And similarly, like EC2, we have your storage also here. Storage, that meaning volumes. What are the different types we have? EBS different types of volumes. That song. GP2, DP2, GP3, IO1, IO2, ST1, AC1 standard. So here also that small ST1, AC1, all these things will not be there because it's database, no. So bigger like GP2, IO1s, all these things will be here. But volumes, GB1, IO1, etc., everything will be there here. And I said here also you have instance type. What is it, Anna? Instance type. But here we call it as DB instance type. Which our favorite one? T2 micro will be using it. And then in EC2, we discuss about security groups, no? Here also we have security groups, VPC, subnets, everything. We have it. And then we discuss read replicas, Sada. Read replicas concept. And what is another concept? Multi-AZ concept is there. And then you have, if you have a databases, you need to check, do the monitoring, you know. Generally monitoring meaning which service will get into picture? CloudWatch. CloudWatch will doing the monitoring for us. And if you want to see that nicely, you can have a nice dashboards. We call it as performance dashboards. Performance dashboards. This is for monitoring purpose. You have all these things. And we have something called backup retention period. What is it? Backup retention period. What is retention period meaning? Retention period meaning, let's take, for example, you are taking the backups. Every day you are taking the backup. Today you started taking the backup. Next 3 months you took the backup every day. How many backups will be there? 3 months meaning 90 days backup. Do you need 90 days snapshots? Not required, no. So last 1 week or 10 days or maximum 2 weeks snapshots are enough to restore it, just in case. So what you need to do is you need to set a retention period. If you say 7 days, only 7 snapshots will be there. If you take 20 days, only 20 days snapshot will be there. Like this here, maximum how many days you can keep it is 35 days. Default is 7 days. How much is default, Nana? And what is the maximum retention period here? But if you take manual backup, now if you say, sir, I want retention, but can you take the manual backup also? Let's say I want 1 year backup. Can you take manual backup? And that manual backups will be get automatically deleted. Huh? No, who took that manual backup? You only. So AWS is not taking the backup. You are taking the manual backup. You need to go and delete the manual backup. Does we have retention period for manual backups? It will be there lifelong. Until you delete, it will be there. It will be there. So we don't have any retention period for the manual backup. No retention period for manual backup. So you need to delete it manually. And what is the backups called here? Snapshots. Now these snapshots can be exported to S3. Snapshots are exported to S3. Snapshots are exported to S3. Can you import it also? Yes, you can restore it from S3 also. For the moment, it will be only for MySQL and Postgres, but we'll see in the console. Okay. Is this clear, all these things? These are all the common very features that we have it. And the snapshot can be shared, can be copied from one region to other region. Snapshot can be shared from one account to another account. Say in EC2 we did no same concept here also. Snapshots can be copied to another region and can be shared to another account using account ID. Using account ID. Now, anytime can you scale up and scale down? DB instances. Let's say you have launched a DB instance called T2 Micro. Can you scale up to T2 Large? Anytime can you scale down? So if you want to scale up and scale down, what you need to do? Can you do it on the runtime, on fly, or you need to take the downtime? Downtime is mandatory. Remember in EC2 also, can we change the instance type? No, you need to stop the DB instance and then change it. So here also you can scale up DB instance, but not on fly. What you need to do? We need to stop the DB instance. So downtime required. Is it clear? Online, is this clear till here, everyone? Super. You know auto scaling, no? What is auto scaling? What is auto scaling? What you are telling? Up or down is what? Scalability, no? Auto scaling, out to in, no? Scale out, scale in. Now you are saying scalability, what is auto scaling is scale up down. That is scalability. Nana, inch difference, right? Inch difference. You have to be very careful while answering the questions. If you say Pusuk, if interviewer asks what is auto scaling, if you say scale up, scale down, gaya, right? You know all the things, but you have to be careful, be within yourself, and then try to answer it. Okay. Don't just like that say it. Okay. So here auto scaling meaning scale out and then scale in. So number of servers can be increased, number of servers can be decreased based on the load. So we have seen auto scaling on the instance levels, but today I'm talking about auto scaling on storage level. What is auto scaling meaning? Let's say in auto scaling group, we have selected minimum, maximum, desired capacity. Remember, minimum you said 2, maximum you said 6, desired capacity you said 4. Correct, Nana? So 4 is here. How many EC2 instances will be launched? 4. And what is the maximum value? 6. AWS will charge for 6. If your EC2 instance has scaled out to 6, then it will be charged. Correct? So do you have any problem with 4 EC2 instances? No. Load is okay. But if load is getting increased, automatically go to 5, 6, 7, 10, how much ever maximum value you have given. Similarly, here also, auto scaling on the storage level is there. Let's say we are setting up a DB instance and you have given a volume size as 100 GB. This 100 GB is sufficient. 100 GB is not sufficient. Maybe after 1 month, 2 months, it will get full. If the storage is full, your database will work. It will not work. If the storage is full, database will work. It will not work. So what will happen is at that time, it will stop working. What you need to do is you need to go and edit, modify that 100 GB to some 500 GB. You need to take the downtime or not. Instead of doing like this, what you can do is there is an option called enable storage level auto scaling. You give 100 GB and maximum value also you can give 1000 GB or how much ever you want, 16 terabytes, how much ever terabytes you give it. If your data has reached 100 GB, now it will complain. It will not complain. It will keep on increasing to your maximum value. So that is auto scaling on the storage level. So here I'm writing here. Auto scaling on storage level. So here, if you give 100 GB, automatically, and maximum value you can give also as 1000 GB. Now 1000 GB example I'm saying, 1000 GB. So this will increase on fly. Increase on fly. And like this, there is small features are there, which is called parameter group. What is it, Nana? This parameter group is used by the developers, not us. Parameter group is nothing but is like global schemas. What is that? You know what is local variable, global variable concept? Huh? Developers knows. Local variable meaning you can use it there itself. Global variable meaning you can use anywhere. Simple as that. So here also, in one DB engine, can you have multiple databases? Yes. Each database will be accessed by some developers. And there are few schemas that you can give globally for the entire engine so that these schemas, these values can be used in all your databases inside. You can create your schemas locally on each and every database, or else you can create a schema for globally for entire engine. That is called parameter group. What is that called, Nana? This will be used by the developers. It's not that for us. And there is also something called subnet group. What is it, Nana? Subnet group. Subnet group is like if you want to restrict any people network, you can restrict. Otherwise, you can. So it is related to restrict or allow access from some network. So these are all the small chumma things. And latestly, they have introduced something called DevOps Guru. What is that? DevOps Guru. What is that, Nana? DevOps Guru is a small feature that they have. What you need to do is you need to check or uncheck. If you check it, what will happen is this DevOps guru will recommend if there are any security issues, performance issues for your databases, automatically this guy will recommend. But it is extra charge for that. But remember, DevOps guru is used to recommend or gives suggestions on DB performance, etc. Okay, Nana? That is called DevOps guru. Is it clear? Everyone? Hmm? Clear? Online, Nana? So this is all about RDS. This is all about RDS. So actually, we no need to go this much deeper, but I went so much deep inside the RDS. I thought to give only something, but I went very deep. And there is also one more extra topic. You know, right? I like to give extras. Okay. I know your feeling. So that extra topic is a chargeable, billable topic. So that is called RDS proxy. What is that? RDS proxy. Generally, what is proxy? I know. Okay. So I'll tell you, okay, as we are running out of time, I'll tell you directly now. So there are so many applications which are connected to the DB engine. Agree? There are so many applications which are connected to the DB engine. One application will connect only one time. One application will have single connection or multiple connections. So many connections. If he's a very bad developer, what he'll do is for every function, he'll write a connection. So from one application, we'll have multiple duplicate connections will be there. Like this, you have multiple applications, multiple connections. So if you have 10 applications, you'll be having 1,000 connections. So all these connections will be connected to a DB engine. No, what will happen to DB engine? It will get stressed out. So instead of doing this, what AWS has recently came up is between your between the application and DB instance, in between you have RDS proxy. What you have? RDS proxy. What this RDS proxy will do is it will minimize the number of connections and will give minimum number of connection to the DB engine. It will reduce the number of connections and give only few connections to the DB engine. If required in real time, you can use it. It's just a matter of checkbox. You want RDS proxy or not, but it is additional price. So here I'm writing here RDS proxy. It is used to reduce the number of connections from applications to DB instance. RDS proxy. Okay, Nana? Is it clear? Online, any questions? And also, this RDS proxy is between application and DB instance. No, this RDS proxy should be in public or private. Remember, your DB instance should be always private. Anything related to the DB, private only. This RDS should never be in public. RDS proxy should, should never be in public. Okay, so this RDS has username and password, no? When you set up a DB engine, you will have a username, password. Those are your secrets or not? So there are so many secrets available in our AWS, like access key, secret key, IAM username, password, encryption keys, like this database username, password. These are all very confidential or not? So Nana, you can use normally username passwords here itself. AWS came up with a service called Secret Manager. What is that? What is the service name? Secret Manager is used to store the secrets. And you no need to tell to RDS, this is my username and password. And tell RDS saying that, hey RDS, go and get it from Secret Manager. Because there in Secret Manager, you have created access keys, secret keys, username, password, everything like a wallet. That like a what? It's very secretly available there and no one will have access. And so if you want to keep the secrets like this, you can store it in Secret Manager. Where, Nana? Where should I write? Full. Huh? So very important. Secret Manager. Write down this as a separate service in your book. Secret Manager is used to store all your secrets like access, secret keys, encryption, username, passwords, etc. This is called Secret Manager. Now it looks different. Okay, Nana. Don't forget about Secret Manager. It's also, you don't get any questions on it, just in case. If you have any certification question saying that, where do you store all your secrets in AWS where you cannot leave it just like that? Which one is that? Secret Manager. What is Secret Manager? It's used to store all your secrets like access keys, secret keys, username, password, encryption, anything which is related to confidential, you can store it there. Secret keys. Okay, said this is service is free. We like free all the time, but it's very, very, very limitedly chargeable. For each and every token, they'll charge. It's very negligible. Okay, take the screenshots. Of course, Lakshmana, it will, application will also get stopped. And tomorrow we'll do the practicals on this RDS. Done. And the second one. Okay. Nice. So parameter group, Priyanka, parameter group is like this. So if you have a DB engine, inside that you have individual databases. So if you create any key value, anything key and then value, you can create it individually for each and every database. That's called local schemas. So if you use parameter groups, you can create that schemas globally on the engine level, the DB instance level. So that whenever you create a DB instance, when you created a parameter groups, this will be applicable for all your databases inside, not for only individual. Okay, can you give the final CC for today? CC with smile, please. Correct, Ravi Kumar. So that is all, guys, for today. And I'll see you tomorrow with this RDS practicals. Until then, take care. Bye-bye. Have a nice day. See you tomorrow. Don't miss a class. Bye-bye.